Welcome in. I'm Rhonda Holt, the Lone Maven with Thrive Mortgage, and we have a special guest in the studio today on this Saturday. We have Dennis Hartman. Hi, Dennis.
Morning, how are you?
I am doing great, and we invited Dennis in because we have been talking in the last month or so about home improvement and ways that you can improve your home to increase value. And Dennis, you have a business called Denny's Do For You.
Correct.
With your shirt, see your shirt, show the camera your shirt. Yeah, okay, yes, okay, I love it. So Dennis, tell us a little bit about, in a nutshell, what you do.
Basically, my business is a handyman, small repair. I can repair things that are going on in your home that may not be working properly. I design and build decks.
Mm-hmm.
I have completely redone bathrooms for people. You know, tear it down to stud walls, change it and bring it back as something completely different. I've done that before. My specialty and the things I like to stay in is the smaller things. Even though I do those other things well, but I really enjoy 1-2 day jobs that I can get in and out, and the variety is what I really enjoy.
Yeah. And so how did you get started with home improvement? What is your background like? And of course, I know you have a variety of background, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I think a lot of it goes back into my childhood, teenage years.
Yeah.
We grew up, we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we had to figure out how to make things work.
Yeah.
Just because necessity is we don't have the money to fix this thing, so we have to fix it, find a way to make it work, and move forward. And that just came through life. And then when I married my wife, my father-in-law was a civil engineer.
Oh, wow.
And very precise, very detail-oriented. And I would go work with him. We'd build a house, and
So he would teach you some
my
things.
Goodness.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
I really appreciate, he's been gone now for a while, but I really appreciated what I learned.
So you've been doing the home improvement handyman or woman type of things since when?
I originally started the business in 2001. We came here in 98. Erickson, when Erickson was in their heyday, they brought us up from North Carolina.
Okay.
And I was basically a process engineer building cell phones.
Oh, wow.
And I was in charge of one of the particular phones, one of the original flip phones.
Oh.
And it was a blast. And
I think some people still have flip phones.
Oh. Yeah, they're a little different than this one.
Okay. But I remember the Razor. Wasn't the Razor? I had a red Razor flip phone.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
This one was the Amelia phone. It was the one that was in the commercial, the Ericsson commercial of the stadium. And they're playing a football game, and the stadium lights go out, and this guy stands up with his phone, and then everybody stands up with their phone, and they light up the stadium, and they continue the game.
With the little flip phone. Can you imagine texting on your flip phone?
Well, as a side note, this particular phone was the first phone to ever send a text message.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So
then when they left,
yeah.
What do? We loved it here. It's been great for our kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's see what I can do. And
right.
I threw an ad in the paper and got phone calls, and 2 years starved to death. But we survived.
And you built yourself up, yes.
And then Andrew Corporation hired me as an engineer over in Forest, and I worked for them full time.
Yeah.
But kept doing this on the side. And
right.
people would say, hey, I need you to fix this. Okay, I'll run over about 6 o'clock and fix that, and then I do this. And then sometimes like, can you do this? Oh, yeah, it'll take me a couple of days. So I'd take a couple of days off work and go do that, and then go back. And that was the luxury of being with a larger company, because I had time.
Right.
And I could do that. And then that process just kept going through. A couple of years ago, I took a week off and built a deck for a lady over in Sandusky area.
Gosh.
And she just loved it.
Wow.
I've got some phenomenal pictures of it.
So what would you say would be your smallest job that you've done? Like, what would somebody call you that would be the smallest thing you've ever done? Other than changing a light bulb or something like that. But what would you be the smallest?
I plugged in this hair dryer this morning, and the receptacle just fired out.
Oh, yeah. I've had that, yeah.
And I went, yeah, you got a bad receptacle.
Oh.
15 minutes, they change the receptacle, move on. It happens. Receptacles,
sounds like
after
so
a
easy.
period of time, they go bad. It's just the law of entropy.
So you can do the electrical stuff, and so you just mentioned that you were building a deck or built a deck.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that the largest job you probably would do? Or largest job you could do?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
But that's pretty large.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, and I have figured out how to design it. I had a design class in college.
Oh wow!
And I figured out how to design it. So I've actually designed a couple.
Oh wow!
And quoted people on them, and they're like, "Yeah, okay, that'll work."
Oh gosh, so, yeah, that's crazy.
It's pretty fun.
So, and I know you do good work, and I've seen, and heard some of your work and how a great job people rave over you as far as what you do. And I'm sure that you've had situations where you go in a house and, they get you to do one thing and they say, oh, wait a minute, would you mind doing this thing and this thing? So how do you, so you just come out and do you give free estimates?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you give a free estimate on what it would cost, what it's going to entail, maybe how long it's going to take?
Or as close as I can get. And if I don't know, I say, I think it's going to take this long.
Yeah.
And I'm basing my quote on this particular rate.
Right.
If it goes higher, it is. And if it's lower, it's, whatever it's going to take me to do it, that's what I'm going to charge you.
Right.
I think it'll be about here.
Right.
But if it goes up or down, and if you're okay with that, this is the rate, this is where we're going to be. And I have come in way under. And then there have been times where I'm like, okay, I had to charge you a little more because this was bad and this was bad and this was bad, and we didn't see it because we couldn't.
Right,
see
once
it
you
when
dig
we took
in
the
there.
Exactly. Which is always the greatest challenge in remodels because you have no idea what's behind it.
I saw something that you recently did. I saw pictures of something you recently did that was so wonderful. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was in a child's room.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was a staircase. Was it a staircase or closet? It was a closet.
Yeah,
it was a closet, and you made it into like a reading nook.
Yes. That was absolutely one of my favorites.
That was so adorable. Just so a closet was turned into a little reading nook with a cushion in there. You could sit and have your bookshelves on each side. It was really good. So.
It was. Yeah.
So what and I hate to put you on the spot for this, but what has been probably your most unusual request? Have you had any really unusual requests from people that need things?
Yes, some. I had, I think it was about a year ago, I had a lady called me. It was actually referred to me. And the floor in one of her pantries was sinking. And she was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, well, I don't know until I get into it.
Right.
And when I got into it, I found the original beam that was probably 150 years old, because she said this was a really old section, was gone.
Oh.
And literally the floor area had sunk 2 inches.
Oh, that could have you could have fallen right through.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
And all the floor joists were just like, they were like 2x6 is what we would consider 2x6, and there may have been 3 inches of it because the rest of it had just rotted underneath.
Oh wow.
And literally the corners of the room were sitting on stones about 18 inches around.
Oh wow.
So literally a cornerstone.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, literally that's what they were. So we had to go back in and put a 4x6 beam in there and then attach new floor joists and then new floor back on it, and then new, we put vinyl back into, or a vinyl plank.
Yeah.
And she was just ecstatic.
Wow.
Uh,
And you know, it sounds like, in case you're just tuning in, you're listening to Dennis Hartman. Dennis is with Denny's Do For You,
mhm.
and he's talking about all the handyman work that he does and that he's done, and there's so many things he can do. Dennis, how would they get in touch with you?
Pretty much phone, my number, 434-610-5803. We're working on getting my website up. My son is actually working on that.
Oh, good.
Not quite ready yet, but we're really close.
Uh-huh.
He sent me a questionnaire a couple of weeks ago. It's like, need all this stuff. Sent it back to him, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna put that in there and we'll get all that straightened up. And he's already got it. He's already got the domain and everything done, but he just hasn't given me the number to say go for it yet. But that's coming.
Oh, good.
That's
Good.
coming.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, new house on the block this week is a listing that just came up. And Yvonne Jansen, she is with Ferguson Partners now, which is formerly known as Lynchburg's Finest Realty here in Lynchburg. Yvonne just listed in the Boonesboro area of Lynchburg. It's a condo. And this particular condo, of course, you have access to a swimming pool. It's with walking distance to Starbucks. And it's listed for $359,000. And it's a beautiful condo, well decorated. It is move-in ready. So she can be reached at 434-509-0201. And be sure to check it out because this one won't last long. I wanted to thank Dennis for joining us today at Denny's Do For You. He does a lot of great work. I've seen his work, and if you need some home improvements, some projects that you're thinking about to increase the value of your home, he is the person to call. He's very reasonable. He'll give you a quote without charging you anything for the quote. And I can be reached if you'd like to, if you have further questions and would like to consider looking at a cash out refinance for home improvement, or look at applying for a new loan to buy a new home. I can be reached at 434-221-6361, or you can visit my website at theloanmaven.com. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel. If you've missed an episode, you can reach the channel, The Loan Maven, and please subscribe and like. We'd love to have you visit and tune in next week for more of The Loan Maven Show. Have a good week.